Hello, people of the YouTubes. So I'm going to make Erika's wedding dress. So I don't know if anybody noticed that really weird pause. Who am I kidding? You probably noticed that pause because it was a pretty big pause. Okay, that pause was me trying to remember what I had forgotten, which was to mention the fact that I'm going to be making Erika's wedding dress in one day. Make Erika's wedding dress from Princess and the Pauper. Wait, I have the DVD. Let me go get it. Bing! I don't know. I have been wanting to make this for a while, ever since I made my Snow White wedding dress. While I was making my Snow White wedding dress, I kept thinking about Erika's wedding dress. And the reason that I kept thinking about Erika's wedding dress was because of the colors, because of the blue and the white, just in case I needed to clarify, because that was a little confusing. Now, the only Barbie dress I've ever made is Rapunzel's Barbie dress. Anyway, that's that. There's going to be a lot of little pictures like popping up all over the place because I'm going to be referencing a lot of pictures. Also, please pardon the sparkly lip gloss, the crazy over-exaggerated blush, and the pink eyeshadow. This is all from something else. I'll give you a secret. It's from a Tinkerbell something or other, which I'll probably already have on my TikTok by the time I actually get around to editing and posting this video. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get going on this wedding dress. So I tend to use my large hoop skirt for everything, but I decided to just use this medium-sized one. Compared to Annalise's dress, Erika's dress definitely just isn't as wide and big and poofy. Because she's the Pauper, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and use this petticoat that I used for my candy corn witch, and I've used it for countless things since because it's just a good petticoat. I went to the Dig and Save earlier, and everything is $1.25 per pound. Per pound. Got these nice thick curtains that have like this really nice, almost like fake silk look. These shears, which is great because they're super light, so I barely paid anything for them. This lace that my sister actually got for me from the Dig and Save when she went yesterday. It actually has about this 6 to 7 inch border all along the edge, which will work perfect for the sleeves and the bottom of the dress because I won't even have to gather anything. I have this lace that I have for my little sister's Hamilton transformation dress, and then I did splurge and I bought a couple of new things. I got this blue ribbon from Walmart. It was less than $2, so not so bad. I think there's 18 feet, so 18 feet should cover it. And then if you also look at this picture, you're going to see that Erika and Annalise too both have like this nice layer over their dress. So I did grab some tulle from Walmart as well, just because it's the closest shop to me. I just had these Dollar Tree flowers in my stash, and I did try going to the Walmart floral section and the Dollar Tree floral section, and they did not have any blue roses. So I don't know how I'm going to make these iconic roses because as a child, these were literally the coolest looking flowers in the world. So back to the cool layer, or what I'm going to be using is just tulle, is if you look at this picture right here, it's really neat because like you can see like this nice poof, and then like the veil doesn't even touch the hair. It's just like floating hair. I don't know, but as a kid, I just thought that was the coolest thing. Like, that made it Barbie right there. Because if you go and watch other Barbie movies, and even I think some of the Disney princesses, you'll see that like the second layer of fabric or the wedding veil or whatever the case may be, like it doesn't sit against the other fabric, it just kind of floats. So I'm gonna try my best to recreate that, but I don't know if I'll be able to do so because first of all, it's an animated movie. Second of all, gravity and physics exist in the real world. And third of all, I don't have any wires, so I don't know if I'll be able to do like a trick effect or not. All right, everybody, it is October 12th and it is Erika's wedding dress day. I really hope I can do this in a day. It's currently 8:40 a.m. I baked a pie, I got myself clothed, and it's pretty much just time to get going on this. So right now I've decided that I'm just going to take this lining fabric from these beautiful curtains and I'm just going to use that as the base fabric and then put this sheer over top to give it more of a nice fancy look instead of just like lining material, and that should give it that really bright white that's in this picture instead of more of this off-white gold that you kind of see in Annalise's dress, except that hers has like a pattern going on. And here's what that looks like. There's that lining material right there on the bottom with the sheer on top. And then I'm just going to go ahead and sew that lace and the blue ribbon down on top. Okay, so here's where we're at right now. I have the front panel completely done. I have the lace and I have the blue ribbon. Hold on. Lace and blue ribbon. Right now I'm just pinned in because I haven't gathered up or put in a waistband yet. So I'm going to do that ribbon on the front, along the bottom, gonna put in a waistband and the skirt will be done. I did forget to show you how I sewed the skirt together. So I have that front panel, and then I also have a back panel, which is about 3 to 4 times bigger than that front panel. And I just put right sides together and did 2 straight stitches down the side on the left and right of that front panel. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut a slit in the back of the skirt to make room for a zipper. But that's pretty much it. It's really easy. I think the hoop skirt circumference might be a little bit bigger than the circumference of the skirt. I could probably put another panel in, but I don't think that would look very good. So if anything, I'm going to see if I can maybe just wear petties under this instead of the hoop. Alright, here we're at. I do have a petty underneath instead of the hoop skirt. In the picture, the sides come down a little bit longer past the lace, so I decided to imitate that in mine. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. After looking at these reference photos, I decided to make the gathered tulle skirt just with a regular waistband and just a ribbon closure. Nothing too fancy. You can see right here, it's just a little waistband with a little ribbon. Nothing special. The tulle is about 2.5 times wider than the original skirt because, like I said, after looking at these pictures, I saw that there was quite a lot of poof, and then it was kind of hard to tell on a lot of those front photos if the tulle layer went to the front of the dress, but I think after looking at this photo that it does. So I just made it go all the way around the dress. It doesn't stop anywhere. This is the only reference photo I could find online of the back of the dress or the back of the bodice, so I'm just going to use this pattern because it has a nice high back. I don't own a mannequin, so it's really hard to draft patterns on myself, especially the back of the bodices, so this is just what I have to do, alter existing patterns. 4:05, so I do actually have a decent amount of time left before the day is over, but my bedtime is usually between 6 and 9, just depending on how early I have to work the next day. So, I mean, I don't really actually have a lot of time. I can't really see any seam lines on this dress, but it kind of looks like right here that there might be a seam that's kind of similar to this princess cut seam, so that's what we're going with. Of course, it is possible that the seams are hiding underneath the ribbons, but that's a lot of work to try and pattern match something like that for a seam that's not even going to show anyway. Also, it's animated, and they might not have put seams into the dress. So we've gone from this to this. I altered the patterns quite a lot, and I haven't done the mock-up yet, or this is, but I haven't sewn it or put up against my body yet. So basically, as you can see, I really made this strap, a lot more narrow than it was originally, and I went ahead and I cut out more of a deep neckline. I might have to cut it lower, but I decided for the meantime, leave it high. Can always cut some off. I can't, you know, add any in. But yeah, this is what we've got so far. I lengthened everything, and then I figured I'll put the point in the front of the bodice after I fit it on my body and see how it all works. I've used this pattern before, just like the basic pattern to make dresses, and it fits fine in the bust. It's nice princess cut. I don't remember the neck being this high, and I even cut it down a bit. So that is interesting, and I am definitely going to have to cut it down a bit more even. Same with the neck. I mean, the back of the neck, like, is really high, so I'm gonna have to cut that all down. The waist is good. I'm glad I had put in that extra room because now it actually can go over my hips. Good thing I also don't have huge hips. And then the arms are really tight, so I am going to have to open that up a bit, especially because I'll be putting sleeves in. But so far, so good. Okay, I am really liking this. So I've got the bodice fixed, and it's doing kind of that nice little off the shoulder thing, but it's kind of staying up on the shoulder, so that's pretty good. It's fitting pretty well. I think I might have cut the bodice just a little too short. I also don't have the proportions of a Barbie, so I might need to keep it short so that the skirt isn't like sitting down here on my hip like it is on the Barbies, because it's not going to work unless I was designing this as a dress. So by having a separate bodice and skirt, I think I'm gonna just have to have it as a shorter bodice. This is an issue that I ran into with my Barbie Rapunzel dress as well. I've seen lots of other people sew Barbie dresses, and they're able to get the like Barbie shape with the super long bodice down to the hips, and it looks great. It's just not something that I've been able to do so far with my one attempt. And because this is a make it in one day, I'm not going for perfection here. I'm just going for like wearable and recognizable. And then for the sleeves, I'm just playing it easy as well, and I'm going to be using this pattern. Oh, I am so tired and I kind of want to go to bed, but then I wouldn't get this done in a day, and I don't think I'm going to get it done in a day anyway, but I want to at least do as much as I can. So I have the sleeves and the ribbons for the front of the bodice, and it's coming together so well. Like, I can kind of finally see this dress. It's going to be cute. So far, I'm not actually very happy with this at all. Like, if you actually look at this compared to the reference photo that I'll put right there, the lace is like perfect. I mean, it lines up like perfectly, and the way it kind of pops up on the shoulders is just like in the picture. Having these seams with this, it really does screw the whole thing up. So I think I should have tried to draft a pattern from scratch, but I was trying to do this in a day, which I probably won't do now because it is like 5 till 8 and I'm really tired and I need to go to bed. Yeah, I'm getting like total pioneer girl vibes, like really badly made American Girl or Little House on the Prairie dress. But maybe it will look better when it's like actually laced up and everything and I'm not wearing a shirt underneath, but alright everybody, this is where we end for the night. It's a little after 8. I'm going to bed. But I would say for a one-day make, I almost did it. I mean, that's like a 12-hour span. And I actually stayed mostly on track. This actually lines up really well. I was not expecting that. I still have to finish off this. Still need to add in some kind of closure. It's the next morning. I finished the waistband just with some not so great little whip stitches. I'm going to cover it up with that braided waistband. I kind of wanted to do Velcro, but at the last minute I decided that I was going to have to do a lace up due to the amount of fabric that I had in the back of the dress. Now for this waistband, it looks like it's braided. It looks like it starts on the right and maybe goes to the left. So right now I'm just doing a regular 3-strand braid. I decided to do 2 blue, 1 white, just because the animated picture of the braid right here, you can't really tell if there's more white or more blue, which is probably because it's not a real braid, it's animated. So I just went with more blue because I figured you could see it better up against the white bodice and the white skirt. And yes, I am using my feet to hold it while I braid. I did think about doing like long spaghetti strap, making tubes, ironing them down kind of thing, but you know what, this is just more of like a fun costume. It's not meant to be super nice. It was supposed to be a one-day make, so I figure at this point, as long as, like I said earlier, I just want this to be recognizable. It's just fun. I'm not trying to impress anybody. So yeah. Second thought, I absolutely despise this braid, so just because Erika's dress has the braid doesn't mean ours has to. No braid. Well, without further ado, we're going to make a veil. Okay, that did not look as cool as I thought it would. A veil. Ta-da! Unlike most wedding veils I've seen, Erika's definitely has a nice roundness to it, and also this point, whatever that is. In order to do my best to recreate this shape, I kept my tulle folded in half, I had a flat edge, and then I started cutting up in a curve. Her veil also has some sort of trim around the edge, but you can't see it in different photos, so I'm just going to leave that off because it's going to add weight to the veil and keep it from having that floating effect. Now, I didn't have a large hair comb or whatever these are called, so I went ahead and took these 2 small ones off of an old wedding veil, and I planned on gluing them together with this ribbon. This will keep the veil in the hair, and it'll also create a base to glue on the veil and the flowers. Just me, or does that look like a mustache? It didn't take very long to do this. I just hot glued all around the place, and I just wrapped and wrapped. There you go. Easy peasy, that made no sense. Okay, but hopefully you're a visual learner. Then I hand gathered the tulle without thread. I just kind of bunched it, hot glued it, and stuck it on that barrette. Next came the flowers, and same thing. I just took the hot glue and I stuck those flowers right on top. Next it was time to do the hair, and as you can see in this photo, it's just like a half up, half down with a braid on the top of the head. The first thing I did was to scoop up half of my hair and to make that little ponytail right there. And then, as you can kind of see with my right hand, I went behind my head and I was grabbing a chunk of hair, and this is what we're going to turn into the braid. So it's just that chunk. I brought it to the front and then I started braiding it. I have never done a hair tutorial before, so I do apologize if this isn't very well explained. I'm just trying to, explain this the best I can. Anyway, braid, braid, braid. And once you're done braiding, you're going to have this. You're going to have that ponytail and a little braid coming out from the back of your head, and you're just going to put that right up on top of your head and make yourself a little braided crown and just bobby pin that in place with about 4 bobby pins. Now you can take the end of your your braid and just bobby pin that in place behind your head, and you'll have something that looks like this. The veil is pretty simple. You're just going to take your veil, throw it over your head, and shove the comb right into that braid. It'll hold it nice in place. How lucky am I? I found this ribbon in my stash. It's not as shiny, but it is really, really close to the ribbon on the dress, and it's a little thicker, so it's actually perfect for a choker. So overall, I would say the bodice, definitely not a good fit, and I couldn't lace up all the way, so it's not as tight fitting, so that makes the fit even worse. But seeing it with the hair and the veil and the choker, it's not as terrible as I was thinking. It's definitely more of a Halloween costume than a cosplay, that's for sure, but it is so Barbie, so Erika, and I'm actually really, really happy. Well, she is done. I pretty much did it in one day. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't a one-day make, but it was almost a one-day make if you don't count like finishing details and then accessories. So I feel like I did a pretty decent job, especially because everything else only ended up taking up an hour or two longer. So if I had been able to stay up later last night, I totally could have done this in one day. Just take my word. Also, I keep kind of going from this side angle because I love how the braid is looking with the veil. I don't know, it's just so pretty and it just feels elegant and simple, but like elegant. I don't really like how the flowers are sticking up, but I've been very picky about this project altogether when I told myself I didn't want it to be a perfect project. It's just me. Anyway, I'm actually very happy with how it turned out. Now that I'm wearing it, it does feel very Barbie, and it definitely turned out a bit better than my last Barbie dress, so I am happy with that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Also, I have more videos on my TikTok if you're interested, and every once in a while I put things on my Instagram if you want to check that out as well. Bye!